Well, yesterday was a big day, wasn't it? As yesterday morning, at the tail end of his Man of Steel watch party on Vero, with Henry Cavill in attendance, Zack Snyder announced that his Snyder Cut, well, it's been titled officially Zack Snyder's Justice League, is going to debut sometime on HBO Max in 2021. Now, they didn't put a specific date or whatever, and I think it's obvious why. They don't know when yet, and they still have to film. He has to film additional scenes, and that all has to be edited and VFX and stuff. And he can't film anything right now because we're in a global crisis, and a lot of studios don't know yet when they can start filming a lot. It's possible that this additional stuff he wants to film, he won't be able to film it until early 2021. So they don't know when they can release the movie because they don't know when he can finish making it. Now, the news, some places are saying it's going to be $20 million worth of extra stuff, maybe $30 million. It depends on where you read. The number that's being floated around the most often right now is $20 million. And, he apparently wants to really do some epic stuff. And it makes sense, not just for that reason, for him to try to make this as epic and bombastic as possible, because it's a big deal, and it's it's a big, DC's biggest heroes meeting together. I mean, that's got to be epic, but also they might want to release this as 4 or 6 parts, what I'm seeing, and so they might want to try to film it or package it in a way where there are cliffhangers at certain points in the movie, so that might require him to structure it and film it and edit it in a different way to fit that kind of release format. So they may have to modify things to release it not as a full movie, but as chunks, because it's supposed to be 4 or 5 hours maybe in total, and they're putting it on streaming, and they want it to be a Mandalorian or Witcher type big deal, so they've got to stack it into episodes. It can't just be constructed as one complete movie if they want to do it with a weekly release schedule. So that all makes sense. So is this going to be something like The Witcher or Mandalorian? I think it could. I mean, I think HBO Max needs content. I think HBO Max is the reason the Snyder Cut's getting released. Now, I know there's been a big fan campaign. Zack Snyder himself is a part of that. He's been stoking the flames. He'll release stuff. He played the fan base, smartly, to build up anticipation, to show Warner Brothers in the world that there were people who wanted this, and AT&T and Warner Brothers saw it. But I think if there wasn't a streaming service, they needed to be competitive. If that didn't exist for them to be competitive with Netflix or a Disney Plus, they wouldn't release the Snyder Cut because there would be no reason to, I guess. But they need something on there, something else to make it enticing for people to sign up for HBO Max for it to be competitive in these streaming wars. So I think, although we have to thank, if you're someone who wanted to see the Snyder Cut, you can thank Zack Snyder, thank the fans, but you should really be thanking the people who made HBO Max, because that's why it's really happening. They need that subscriber money, and they need things to entice people to get on there. So we'll see. It'll be very interesting to see what this movie is like. I mean, I think, or this series, I guess, if they're gonna break it up into series. But I think if you're someone who already liked BVS, Man of Steel, who liked Zack Snyder's DC, you're going to love it. If you're someone who's a DC fan, you're probably going to love it. But, I don't really know if this is going to convince people who, there are a lot of people who did and still do, they just didn't like Zack Snyder's DCU. They don't like DC at all. I don't really know if a lot of those people's minds are going to be changed. I think a lot of critics, when this comes out and they're going to review it, they're probably going to tear it apart the way they did, all that other old DCU stuff and the old, old DCU, Suicide Squad, BVS, that kind of stuff. I don't really know if that's going to be changed. There's going to be people with their knives out for this show, but I don't think it's going to matter. I mean, I think that a lot of people are going to watch this with enthusiasm, and it could be a big deal. While I do think this is going to be a big deal for those of us who are already excited about it, I don't know if it's going to convince people. There could be some younger people who are late getting into DC who might see the Snyder Cut on HBO Max and they might really like it. That's interesting. People, maybe they were little kids or whatever and they weren't really, they're old enough now to first start getting into things. And maybe maybe the Snyder Cut will be the first time they see like a big DC property in this kind of Mandalorian Witcher style. It could reel those people in, that kind of new audience, which would be cool. But maybe Zack Snyder's Justice League will be so awesome it will convert some of the haters. There have been a lot of people, to people who don't want to see DC succeed. All the Snyder Cut doesn't exist. Those people, they're just so adamantly anti this whole thing. I don't really know if they're going to be changed. Their minds are going to be changed. But, just don't worry about them. I mean, I do think that this is going to be really successful to enough of the right people where it could be, a really good thing. And it will be. But looking beyond the whole DCEU Zack Snyder situation, this does have some big, I think, implications for the power of fans. I guess in today's climate and culture with the internet, making your voices heard. And I do wonder if this might be a signal or to other fandoms that they can mobilize to get some big stuff done. People like in Marvel or Star Wars. Marvel fans are, I think, for the most part, always happy, so there's nothing, I think, for them to really mobilize for. Marvel fans, just always, from my perspective, they usually mostly just seem to love everything the MCU does. I don't see a lot of angry Marvel fans mobilizing to force Kevin Feige to do anything. But, Star Wars fans, I could see them taking this as a cue to mobilize something. They kind of already did, I think, sort of unofficially. They unofficially kind of boycotted Solo. But, we'll see what happens, Are we on is the Snyder Cut release, is that the start of something else? The fan community, really mobilizing as an organized force to get stuff that they want done and to kind of yell at the studios, so to speak. Are they going to do release the JJ cuts of Rise of Skywalker or release the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad? Are we on are we entering that era of, fandom and forcing Hollywood to do things in a way that they could never really do before? Not that often. I mean, there have been campaigns to save shows, like a show that was canceled, they were able to get it brought back in the past. But this is a whole different level, because this was something that I think executives were adamantly against releasing. And a lot of people in the media who didn't like Zack Snyder or the DCU, they were against releasing this. They wanted to convince us it didn't exist. But here we are. It's happening. So this could be a game-changing moment. We'll see what happens, as the fan force, I guess, the power of fans, evolves, and the internet evolves, and Hollywood, starts to, I guess, figure out how to maneuver and work with this, as it becomes more sophisticated and powerful. Very interesting. I, for one, am excited for this. I am excited that DC could have a kind of Mandalorian Witcher type thing coming. The Green Lantern show could be it, but they haven't even written scripts for that yet. That's a long ways off. So, the Snyder Cut is it for now. And we'll see if this is successful, if it gets a lot of views and a lot of HBO Max signups, what this could mean for the future of the DCEU. Because if the Snyder Cut is successful, I don't think they're going to want to abandon this. They might want to continue this. But, the direction Zack Snyder was taking the DCEU was very different from the one Warner Brothers wants to take it now. It's there's two different, there's the Robert Pattinson Batman, but this is going to have Ben Affleck's Batman in it. It will be very interesting to see what happens, what the fallout will be if the Snyder Cut release is hugely successful. So this is a big deal for a lot of different reasons. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like it on YouTube and subscribe to the channel, because I appreciate your viewership, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.